Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be speaking about the main conclusion. This is so far the most easiest topic for critical thinking. So today's video is going to be a very straightforward video, and honestly you just got to practice a little bit and understand the concept. The moment you do that, you're set for solving this type of questions in the IMAT exam. Okay, so today's video we're going to be speaking about today's video going to be breaking down into 4 different parts. So the first one is going to be what is the main conclusion, where we're going to be basically explaining what do we mean by main conclusion. Now the second thing is steps to find the main conclusion, 3 signal words that you can use to basically guide you, and fourth, we're going to be solving some questions with you guys. So what is the main conclusion? Okay, so the most relevant or important opinion in the text. Okay, now you should always ask yourself, what is the opinion of the author, or what is he or she trying to make me take home from this passage? Okay, what is his main point? And usually it will be connected by and supporting evidence before or after the conclusion in order to explain and support the conclusion given. Okay, so always remember that the conclusion will always be highlighted, or it will always kind of like be the main point of the whole article, in essence, where everything else will be kind of like the backstory, and then the conclusion will be what actually sticking out, right? The main point. Okay, so let's actually move on to step 2. How can we find this conclusion, right? What are the steps? So the first step is to read the question, make sure you're dealing with a conclusion type of question. Second, you can look for trigger words in the passage and identify possible conclusions. Okay, so whenever you look for the trigger words, where we're going to be going through them in a second, whenever you find your possible conclusion, make sure you underline it, right? Just so you can have a reference, so you can check it later. Okay, then make your own conclusion after reading the text, and then identifying the most likely conclusion from the text, and match your answers with the conclusion that you created from your head. Okay, now let's go over some signal words. Well, you should use some of the signal words to guide you to the author's conclusion, but sometimes it may not be clearly shown, so you will have to use some common sense. Okay, so if you find any of these keywords, be on the lookout, because they might actually trying to lead you to the conclusion. Let me explain, right? For example, here I could be saying Jason walked into the park, therefore conclusion, which is he lost calories, right? Now the Jason walked into the park is not really the conclusion, is it? But it's again the backstory where it leads to the therefore conclusion, which is he lost calories. Okay, so again, similar here, we have those, hence, in essence, they basically mean the same thing. Okay, so be on the lookout for these words. So again, let's solve this type of questions. So I'm going to be solving the first one with you guys. We're going to have 3 very easy questions, then we're going to have 2 from the one from the TSA and the other for the IMAT. So they're going to be actually the type of questions that you can expect, but the first 3 one is just for you guys to understand, get the gist of it, and then you can actually go ahead and start practicing with harder questions. Okay, so I will solve the first one, then I'll give you time to solve the second, the other ones. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you guys remember, so let's write again. So what's our first step, right? Our first step is read the question. 1 second, right? So read the question, right? Now, our step 2, after reading the question, now we're going to read the passage, and keywords. So you're going to read the passage and then look for some keywords that may be kind of leading us into the conclusion. Okay, now number 3, create your own conclusion. Create your own conclusion. And number 4, obviously, just match to the answer. Okay, so let's do it. All right, so the first thing we have to do, read the question. So what is the main conclusion of this passage? Right, it's asking us what is the main conclusion. Therefore, we already know that this type of question is the type of question that we really want. Okay. Okay. Now let's read the passage. So many people believe that drinking coffee in the evening will keep them awake at night. Okay, so this is a belief. This is a fact. Okay, many people believe. However, this is a word that we should be looking out for. Whenever you hear the word however, it means that he's trying to tell you something, tell you an opinion. Okay, research shows that this is not always the case. Okay, some individuals can drink coffee before bed and still fall asleep easily. Therefore, the effect of the coffee on sleep varies. Also here, guys, therefore is a keyword. This is a very, very good keyword. Therefore, the effect of coffee on sleep varies from person to person. Okay, so actually, the conclusion will be here. Because everything leads up to this, right? Because obviously here he stated a statement, right? Then here he's speaking about some facts, and here he also speak about some facts as well, but then here is actually his opinion or his conclusion. Okay, now let's look for any questions. So we did number 1, yes. Number 2, now create your own conclusion. Now my own conclusion is that drinking coffee may not always make a person feel less sleepy. Okay, it varies from person to person. So we did step 3. Now match to the answer. Now let's match to the answer. Let's see what we got, right? So coffee always keeps people awake at night. This is not what we're trying to say. In fact, we're trying to dispute this. Okay? Everyone should avoid drinking coffee before bed. That is not what we're trying to say. The effect of the coffee on sleep difference between individuals. This can be one, this can be potentially, but I'm not gonna circle it yet because I want to read it in the next one. So drinking coffee before bed is beneficial for sleep. This is not it, obviously. Guys, what I suggest, especially for the IMAT, once you get the gist of it, the gist of this, and you're able to solve the questions a bit faster, don't skip reading the answers, because although an answer might seem like it's the correct one, there might be another option which could be more of a correct answer than the previous one. Therefore, you could run a risk of choosing the wrong question. Okay, and again, critical thinking is easy marks, so make sure you read all of the options just to avoid losing any marks. Okay, so here's the question 2. So we ask you that you pause the video now and try to solve this on your own, and then you come back so we can solve it together. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you already did this. So again, step 1, which is question, right? Step 2, words, keywords, and try to find conclusion, right? And con 3, my own conclusion, my own, and 4 answers. Okay, so the question is, what is the main conclusion? Okay, check. Now let's see for the words. Let's see for the keywords and trying to find the conclusion, right? Let's read the passage. So, regular exercise is often recommended for improving physical health. Okay. However, it is also beneficial. Here, guys, this is a keyword. Again, as I said, however is a very nice keyword. Here, he's trying to basically transition into something. I don't know if you notice. He's trying basically to show an opinion here, or not an opinion, but like a fact. Okay, but then he is disagreeing. Okay, he's kind of disagreeing with it because he's saying however, or he's at least trying to change the focus of this into something else. Now we can get the gist, or we can understand that because he's saying however, then the conclusion should be amongst the next sentences. Okay, so let's continue reading. So however, it is also beneficial for mental health, right? So here you're saying that it helps improve physical health, but also it helps improve mental health. Right? Studies show that people who exercise regularly experience lower levels of stress and anxiety compared to those who do not exercise. Okay, so let's check here. Questions we did. So finding the keywords, reading the passage, and looking for a conclusion we did. Which the conclusion is here, guys. Is this and is this. And my own conclusion, obviously, that exercise benefits both mental health and physical health. Now we can just check the answer. So exercise only improves physical health. This is basically what he's trying not to say. He's trying to say that it does not improve just mental health. So no, exercise has benefits for both physical and mental health. This can be that does match a lot with what we're saying, but let's continue reading. People should exercise to lose weight. He literally did not mention nothing about this. Stress and anxiety are unrelated to exercise. That's not what he's saying. He actually saying that it is related, right? Experience lower level of stress and anxiety. So it leaves us with option B. Okay. Now let's try to solve question 3 a bit faster. Okay, so pause the video, try to solve it on your own. I assume that you already tried to solve. Okay, so let's read the question. Right, this is step 1. So what is the main conclusion of the passage? So we know it's a main conclusion again, right? Again, let's read the question, look for keywords. Eating a balanced diet is crucial for maintaining good health. Again, fact. Or he's trying to establish something. While some people believe that taking vitamins and supplements can replace a healthy diet, experts argue that it is better to get nutrients from food. This is the counter argument. This is the argument. This is the counter argument. A well-rounded diet a well-rounded diet provides not just vitamins but also fiber, antioxidants, and other essential compounds that supplements cannot fully replace. So, from after reading this passage is a bit different than the other ones. As you can see, usually you can find the conclusion in the middle, followed by how do I say things, or followed by sentences to try to prove or to support or to serve as evidence to it, usually before and after. As here as an example is everything here before leading up to the conclusion. But actually here on question 3, he's actually making the conclusion right at the beginning, right? But why is this? Why is he doing this? And how did I came to the point to know that he's setting the conclusion right at the beginning? Because everything from the passage is just in support of this one conclusion here, right? For example, why some people believe that, okay, so eating a balanced diet is crucial for maintaining good health. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. Why some people believe that taking vitamins and supplements can replace a healthy diet, experts argue that it is better to get nutrients from food, right? So he said that eating a balanced diet is good for the health. Then he's saying that some people don't agree with that, but then he supports his argument with quoting experts. Where is it? Experts, right? Or scientists, in another example, right? Then here he comes to support his statement again. A well-rounded diet provides not just vitamins, but also fiber, antioxidants, and other essential compounds. So here we already have our conclusion. So now let's try to match our conclusion. Okay. Now vitamins and supplements are better than food. No, obviously not. Here we're saying that basically experts argue that it is better to get nutrients from food, not from vitamins. So obviously not this. A balanced diet is essential for good health. This could be it, but let's check the other answer. So supplements provide all necessary nutrients. No. And fiber and antioxidants are important for health. This is also not what he's trying to say. So again, the answer is B. Now this is actually a IMAT question from 2022. This is the question 1. So you guys can try it here, and then you can click pause again in the video to continue. Okay. First thing we have to do is read the question. Which one of the following best express the main conclusion? Okay, we have two standard forms of treatment for depression. Okay, it's a fact. Stating something. He's building a foundation here. One is antidepressant medication and psychological therapy. But over the last 30 years, these treatments have not reduced either the prevalence of or the disability caused by depression. It is likely to remain a significant and largely intractable mental health problem. There are 3 key issues here. All right, access, compliance, and relapse. Access to treatment tends to be restricted to the minority of people who live in urban areas of wealthy countries. But even those who have access to care do not always comply with the treatment recommendations for many understandable reasons. To compound, that's it, guys. That's all you have to know. To compound, or in other words, is basically saying, in conclusion or in summary, all this high numbers of okay, to compound all this, high numbers of people who respond well to treatment later relapse. This is one of the reasons why depression remains so widespread. Okay, so basically, he's trying to say that even though people are getting treated, then later they are coming back to relapse. Therefore, depression will always be widespread. So my conclusion is that although there are treatments available, it does not fix the problem. Or if it fixes the problem, most people they get it back again. So therefore, this will kind of always be a problem. Now let's try to match everything. So depression is likely to remain a significant and largely intractable mental health problem. This can be it, but let's not jump to the conclusion yet. Over the past 30 years, treatment have not reduced the prevalence of or disability caused by depression. This is not the main point, although it is actually here in the passage, is not the main point. One or the conclusion. Okay. One of the reasons why depression remains so widespread is the high rate of relapse. Although this is true, and a lot of people would choose this, it's not the main point. Okay. Access, compliance, and relapse are the three key issues in the treatment of depression. Although this is also true, it is not the main conclusion, right? The main conclusion comes right after this, right here. He's trying to say that although people are getting treatment, it is not solving the problem, okay? So access to treatment for depression tends to be restricted to people in urban areas. This is obviously not it. So here our answer will be A. Depression is likely to remain a significant and largely interactable mental health problem. Obviously, largely comes from the high numbers of people and later relapse. So yeah, guys, this is it. Is if you're able to solve this question right here, I would say you're very good for the very prepared for the IMAT. Okay. Now this is a TSA 2022 question 1. Okay. So pause the video. Then after you pause the video, solve it. Then let's solve it together. Okay. Now, which one of the following best express the main conclusion of the above argument? Main conclusion. Argument. Okay. Now let's read the passage, look for any keywords that we can use, and try to find the main conclusion on the passage. Then we make our own conclusion. Okay. Throughout history, gold has been revered and used for expensive jewelry and ornamentation. So this is the fact. But in the future, this is a counter argument. So we know that it's coming soon. This is a keyword that we should be looking out for. It will be prized for its practical uses rather than for its aesthetic appeal. Now this right here, you can obviously see that this is basically the opposite of this, right? Because throughout history, gold is just used for like jewelry, and here in the opposite side of the table, it's saying that it won't be just used for jewelry. Is actually going to be rewarded for its actual practical uses. Okay. Now let's continue reading. Okay. It wasn't until early in the last century that gold's electrical conductivity properties were discovered. Okay, seems that this is a supporting evidence for this. Okay, let's continue. Solid state electronic devices use very low voltage and currents, which are easily interrupted by corrosion at the contact points. Gold is such an efficient conductor that it can carry these tiny currents and remain free of corrosion. Okay, this is a point. So here they basically they're saying why again is going to be rewarded or prized, right? For its practical uses. Again, it's basically like adding sauce to the food, basically say explaining why we believe that is going to be prized for its practical uses. Okay, is explaining like basically what like why gold is relevant or important. Okay. Okay, so making the devices highly reliable. A small amount of gold is used in almost every modern electronic device, and it is predicted that within 10 years, more gold will be used in the production of electronics than in jewelry. Not again, basically every single thing here, I would say every single thing, all of this, right, guys? All of this is supporting the all of this is supporting the evidence of this, right? Okay, and this is the counter argument. This is the opinion. This is the counter argument saying nope, is not. We're not just gold is not going to just be used for jewelry. And then here is the explanation supporting this. Now let's look for the answers and try to match our conclusion. So which one of the following best expresses the main conclusion? Okay. In the future, gold will be prized for its practical uses rather than for its aesthetic appeal. Yes, that's pretty much it, but let's wait around. It wasn't until the early in the last century that gold's electrical conductivity properties were discovered. This is true, but it's not the main point. Gold is such an efficient conductor that it can carry tiny electrical currents and remain free from corrosion. It's true, but not correct. A small amount of gold is used in almost every modern electronic device. It's true, but that's not the main conclusion, guys. Within 10 years, more gold will be used in the production of electronics than in jewelry. It's true, but not the main point. So here is the main point. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much it for summarizing the main conclusion. If you guys have any questions, you can ask us on WhatsApp. But if you want to practice, just search TSA papers, and you can find a bunch of practice for this type of question. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you liked the lesson.